There is a thought that visits some Christians so often it starts to feel like a roommate. A quiet, persistent voice that asks, is this all real? Do I actually believe this? What if I've been wrong this whole time? And the worst part is not the thought itself. The worst part is the shame that comes with it. Because you look around at other Christians who seem so certain, so anchored, so unshakable. And you wonder what is wrong with you. Today, I want to tell you something that might change the way you see this completely. Your doubt is not the opposite of faith, and it is not evidence that God has left you. In fact, for many people, doubt is the beginning of a deeper and more honest faith than they've ever known. Let's start with what doubt actually is. Doubt is not unbelief. Unbelief is a settled decision to reject God. Doubt is a question that hasn't found its answer yet. Unbelief closes the door. Doubt is standing at the door, knocking. And here is what is remarkable about that. Jesus never turned away a single person who came to him with doubt, not one. Think about Thomas. He is the disciple we call Doubting Thomas, as if doubt was his defining sin. But look at what Jesus actually did when Thomas said, I will not believe unless I see the nail marks in his hands. Jesus did not rebuke him. Jesus did not remove him from the 12. Jesus showed up specifically for Thomas. He held out his hands and said, here, look, touch, believe. Jesus met the doubt with evidence, because doubt that is honest enough to say I need more is not an enemy of faith. It is faith reaching for something real. Think about John the Baptist. This is the man who leaped in his mother's womb when Mary walked in carrying the unborn Jesus. The man who baptized Jesus and heard the voice of God say, this is my son. And yet when John was in prison, he sent his disciples to ask Jesus, are you really the one, or should we look for someone else? John the Baptist had a moment of doubt, and Jesus did not shame him. He sent back an answer. He said, go and tell John what you are hearing and seeing. God is not fragile. Your questions do not threaten him. He is not sitting in heaven anxiously hoping you will not ask too many difficult things. He is big enough for every question you carry, so why does doubt come? There are usually three sources. The first is an unmet expectation. You prayed for something, and it did not happen the way you believed it would. And now a part of you wonders if God is really listening, or if he really cares. This kind of doubt is not a faith problem. It is a theology problem. It means your picture of how God works needs to grow bigger than what you have been taught. The second source is spiritual attack. The enemy knows that a Christian who is uncertain of their foundation is easier to move. So he will use hard seasons, unanswered prayers, and the pain of loss to whisper, see, maybe none of this is real. Recognizing this source matters because the answer to an attack is not more information. The answer is resistance. You stand, you hold. You refuse to let a hard season rewrite what God has already spoken. The third source is actually growth. Sometimes doubt comes because your faith is shedding a version of itself that was too small. The God you built in childhood, the theology you inherited without examining it yourself, a faith that was more about comfort than truth. When those structures begin to crack, it feels like doubt, but it is actually the beginning of a faith that is yours, built by your own wrestling with God, not borrowed from someone else. So what do you do with the doubt that won't go away? Three things. First, bring it into the light. Stop hiding it. Stop performing certainty you do not feel. Doubt that lives in the dark grows. Doubt that is brought into honest conversation with God, with a trusted person, with Scripture, begins to find answers. The Psalms are full of doubt spoken out loud directly to God. That is not weakness. That is the most honest kind of prayer. Second, doubt your doubts. You have been questioning your faith. Now turn the same critical eye on the doubt itself. Ask it, what is your evidence? What are you actually based on? Is this doubt coming from a real intellectual question, or is it coming from pain, from disappointment, from a wound that is not healed? Many doubts do not survive honest examination. They are feelings dressed up as conclusions. Third, keep showing up. Keep reading. Keep praying even when it feels hollow. Keep going to church, even when you feel like a fraud. Faith is not a feeling you wait for. It is a direction you keep walking. Hebrews 11 is full of people who acted in faith before they saw the outcome. They kept showing up, and God met them there. Here is what I want you to hold on to today. Doubt does not disqualify you. It does not mean you are not saved. It does not mean God is done with you. It means you are human and honest and still in the room. And the fact that you are still asking, still seeking, still wrestling, that itself is a form of faith. Because only someone who still believes there is an answer keeps on searching for one. Jesus said, "Seek, and you will find." He did not say seek, and you might find if you are certain enough. He said, "You will find." So keep seeking, keep asking, keep knocking. The door will open. And when it does, your faith will not look like the fragile, uncertain thing it feels like today. It will look like something that was tested and stood and became unshakable. If this spoke to something you have been carrying, share it with someone who needs it today. And subscribe to Faith Grounded, because every week we are here for the questions, the struggles, and the honest conversations that most people are too afraid to have out loud. You are not alone in this.